Good day, ma'am and everyone. My name is Hannah Kim M. Palomar. Our topic is all about nanoworld. But before I proceed to the main discussion, let me first read the learning outcomes. So at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to define the nanoscience clearly, discuss the contribution of person to this subject, and appreciate the uses of nanoscience and nanotechnology. Everyone wonder what is nanoworld. So first, let me introduce what is nanoworld. Nanoworld of science and technology is of great interest to governments, industries, and academia. This means that nanotechnology, the study and application of extremely small things, are widely explored and invested in various sectors like governments, industries, and academia. Governments see its potential for national security, healthcare, and economic growth. Industries are interested in using it to create new products and improve existing ones like stronger materials, better electronics, or smarter drugs. While academia is researching it to understand the science behind it and develop new applications. The prefix nano denotes the sizes of the order of 1 billion of a meter. Nano refers to nanometers, which are the unit of length equal to 1 billion of a meter. To visualize, the human hair is 80,000 to 100,000 nanometer size. So nanotechnology deals with things that incredibly small, which cannot be seen in our naked eyes. So often at the atomic or molecule scale. Nanostructure science and technology is a broad and interdisciplinary area of research and development activity that has been growing explosively worldwide in the past few years. This means nanotechnology isn't limited to just one scientific field. It involves physics, chemistry, biology, and engineering. In physics, understanding how materials behave at tiny scales. In chemistry, building molecules or materials. In biology, working at the scales of cells and DNA. So we all know our DNA has small particles that cannot be seen in our naked eyes. Nanotechnology, one of the helpful sources which can help us see our DNA, the small particles of our DNA. So in engineering, creating nanoscale devices and tools. For example of this is our phones, our gadgets. So our gadgets have a small particles. Inside our gadget have a small particles which cannot seen by our naked eyes. So without the help of nanotechnology, we cannot identify what are the small particles inside in our gadget. So it has a very big help in engineering. It has the potential for revolutionizing the way in which materials and products are created and the range and the nature of functionalities that can be accessed by Sagel 1999. This emphasizes the transformative power of nanotechnology. It can lead to new ways of manufacturing materials with unique properties like super strength, lightweight, or conductivity.
enable new functionalities such as materials that heal themselves, ultra-sensitive sensors, or targeted drug delivery system. Essentially, it opens the door for innovation across countless industries, from medicine to energy and to electronics. So in conclusion, nanotechnology is rapidly advancing with the potential to create amazing new materials and technologies that will change many aspects of our lives. And that's all. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Noverick Lugnasin, and today itatalakay ko ang mga terms ng nanoscience and nanotechnology. But first, itatalakay natin kung ano nga ba ang nanoscience and nanotechnology. Ang nanoscience at nanotechnology is nakafocus sa pag-aaral at paggamit ng mga bagay na maliliit. So usually, ang scale nila or ang sukat nila is nasa 1 and 50 nanometers. So itong mga bagay na ito is meron silang special properties dahil sa kanilang sukat. So kagaya na dito ang kanilang pag-iiba ng kanilang melting point at pagkakandak ng electricity. So next is i-discuss natin kung ano nga ba ang nanoscience. So ang nanoscience is nakafocus siya sa pag-aaral at pag-iintindi ng mga maliliit na bagay gamit ang mga ideya galing sa chemistry, physics at biology. While ang nanotechnology is nakafocus siya sa paggamit ng mga technology para makontrol at magamit ang mga nanomaterials sa kanilang atomic level. So dahil sa mga technology ito is kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina na mas mapapadali ang pagtrabaho ng mga scientist at maaari din tayong maka-discover ng mga bagong bagay at maka-invento ng bagong technology. So ang example nito is yung diniscuss na ng previous group ng pag-iiba ng or pag-treat ng mga cancer cells. So gamit ang mga nanomaterials, so pwede natin gamitin ito para mag-deliver ng mga gamot sa mga cancer cells. At dahil dito mas magiging accurate ang pagtulong or paggamot sa mga may sakit kagaya ng cancer.
So good morning everyone. Now I'll discuss to you about what is nanoworld. But before that, I'll introduce myself first. My name is Adalmay Laberanes and I'm from Group 4. So now, what is the nanoworld? Yes, a nanoworld is like a tiny universe where things are very or super small. So measuring just a billionth of a meter. So 1 nanometer is 1 billionth of a meter. So example, gold nanoparticles can appear red or purple instead of their usual yellow color. Or gold nanoparticles are small that they can be used in medicine to deliver drugs directly to sick cells without affecting healthy ones. So nga mga tiny size, it gives them special properties that make them very useful in science and technology. So helping to create better medicines, stronger materials, and advanced electronics. So ang scientists ga-study sila sa nanoworld para maka-create sila og kanang new technologies or advanced technologies such as more efficient solar panels, stronger materials, and medical treatments. So essentially, the nanoworld gina-unlock niya mga unique properties and possibilities that can transform everyday products and innovations. So kanang and innovations. So kana kay maka useful na siya science and technology para maka-help na siya og create mga advanced electronics. So the next is kanang para mas ma-understand nato what is nanoworld. So here are some presented important persons who have
contributed to the growth of nanoworld. So the first is si Richard Feynman. Si Richard Feynman was a famous scientist known for his brilliant ideas. So in December 1959, he gave a talk called Plenty of Room, or There's Plenty of the Room at the Bottom. So ginadiscuss niya dira ang mga possibilities nga mag-work with tiny things at the molecule, which is na-known na nato karon nga nanotechnology. So kanang sa iyang reputation as a Nobel Prize winner and a charismatic figure in science, nag-help siya bring attention to this field and connected it to a respected history. So kana nga mga discovery siyang ideas gi-provide na siya strong foundation of the development of nanotechnology. So kana nga mga discovery ni Feynman kana nag-help na siya to connect nanotechnology to its early beginnings and give it a historical context. So tungod sa respected Nobel Prize ni Feynman, tungod sa iyang Nobel Prize winner and charismatic figure in science, so ang iyang ideas ga-provide siya og mga credibility and support for those who wanted advanced technology. So ang iyang work ga-serve as an important link between the past and the future of this innovative field. So that's all. And the next is si Eric Drexler.
Good day everyone, I am Mary Pauline Otaza and I'm going to discuss Eric Drexler. Si Eric Drexler ay kilala sa larangan ng nanotechnology. Isa siya sa mga pioneer o unang nag-explore ng ideya ng molecular nanotechnology, yung technology na gumagamit ng maliliit na machines. Isa sa pinaka-importanteng gawa niya ay ang kanyang papel na pinamagatang nanosystem, molecular machinery, manufacturing, and computation. Dito niya pinaliwanag kung paano posibleng gumawa ng mga molecular machines na kayang mag-manufacture at mag-compute ng nanoscale. Dahil sobrang valuable ng information sa librong yun, nanalo siya ng Best Computer Science Book of 1992. Mula sa Association of American Publishers. Bukod pa dyan, noong 1986, siya rin ang founder ng Foresight Institute, isang organization na goal ay preparing for nanotechnology. Ibig sabihin, gusto nilang paghandaan ang future kung saan magiging normal na parte na ng buhay natin ang mga nanotech devices sa medicine, electronics at iba pa.
Good day everyone, my name is Chelsea Mosca and I'm going to discuss and give you a short information about Greg Binnig and Henrik Rohrer. Noong 1981, sina Greg Binnig at Henrik Rohrer ay nakaimbento ng STM o Scanning Tunneling Microscope sa IBM Zurich Research Laboratory. Dahil sa kanilang mahalagang imbensyon, ginawaran sila ng Nobel Prize sa Physics noong 1986. Sa parehong taon, si Binnig kasama sina Calvin Quate at Christoph Gerber ay nakalikha ng unang atomic force microscope o AFM. Noong 1989 naman ay inilabas ang unang commercial na AFM na maaring gamitin ng publiko at ng mga laboratorio. So, ang Scanning Tunneling Microscope o STM ay isang instrumento ginagamit upang makita ang ibabaw ng isang material sa antas ng atomo. Ibig sabihin, nakikita nito ang pinakamaliit na bahagi ng isang bagay. Ang Scanning Tunneling Microscope o STM ay naimbento noong 1981 ni Greg Binnig at Henrik Rohrer sa IBM Laboratory. Dahil sa kanilang kontribusyon, ginawaran sila ng Nobel Prize sa Physics noong 1986.
As I said earlier, noong 1986, sina Benning Calvin Quaid at Christoph Gerber ay nakagawa ng Atomic Force Microscope o AFM. Ang AFM o Atomic Force Microscope ay isang advanced na uri ng microscope o microscopyo. So, sabi ko nga kanina, nung unang discuss ko is noong 1989, inilabas ang unang commercial AFM na magagamit ng mas nakakarami.
Good day everyone, my name is Robijin G. Paraiso. So the continuation of the discussion, let's talk about the initial commercial application and the nano world. Early 2000 was the beginning of the use of nanotechnology and the commercial products, although most applications are limited to the bulk use of passive nanomaterials. Passive nanomaterials, which means the materials don't change or react, but their small size give them special properties that improve the products. So here are some examples. First is titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. So these nanoparticles are used in the sunscreens to block harmful UV rays because they are small or tiny products or not particles. So they spread easily on the skin and don't leave a white layers like older sunscreen. So in the food product is muni siya ang materials nga nagahelp sa food nga magapa-improve sa color, texture, or even nagapreserve siya nga still freshness gihapon ang food. So in second is the silver nanoparticles. So kani siya is dili man siya makita sa mga food packaging, clothing, even sa disinfectants and home appliances. So silver nanoparticles is antibacterial properties. And it becomes more effective na siya, nagapatay na siya mga bacteria. And for example, sa mga this use is mga disinfectants, textiles like kanang socks, sa mga sportwear, and for kanang sa home appliances is sa refrigerator and washing machine because they was used to kill a bacteria and keep food freshness. So kanang mga home appliances sa balay and mga disinfectants kani silver nano is nagapatay siya og mga bacteria or nagaprotect siya sa itong mga gamit. Third is the cerium oxide, a fuel catalyst. So as these nanoparticles as examples, they help burn fuel more efficiently, which means in the engine can run cleaner and release fewer pollutants. So dili na to na siya makita sa mga fuels or sa mga use sa mga cars. Fourth is the carbon nanotube for stain resistant textiles. So it's a very strong and lightweight. So dili na to siya ma-use sa mga electronic batteries, mga sport equipment like tennis rackets or bike frames that support their strong and iyang kabug-aton. So these particles have a capacity of lightweight and strong. So as of March 10, 2011, the Project on Emerging Nanotechnology found that the more 1,300 nanotech-based products were already being sold. So in the around of 3 to 4 products using nanotechnology were being released every week. So nagka-growing siya.
The Joint Center of Bioethics in Canada ranked potential uses of nanoscience and nanotechnologies with respect to developments. The top 10 uses follow BBC News 2005. My name is Charlie Mabaslay and my topics is the potential uses. Energy production, conversion, and storage are interconnected and crucial for a sustainable energy system. Production focuses on generating energy from various sources, while conversion aims to reduce energy consumptions and Storage allows for the preservation of generated energy for later use. And the next is modernizing farming techniques, improving seeds quality, optimizing soil health, and leveraging technology to increase yields and efficiency. It also emphasized the importance of extension services, training program, and cooperative farming models. And the next is processes that purify contaminated water, making it suitable for various uses like drinking, industry, and environmental protection. Water treatments aims to remove or reduce impurities through physical, chemical, and biological methods, while remediation focuses on address specific contaminants such as a pollution from industrial discharge. And the next is screening tests are for asymptomatic individuals to detect disease early, while diagnostic tests are for symptomatic individuals to confirm a diagnosis. Screening tests aim to identify potential health issues before symptoms appear and enable en- enable early treatments or risk reduction. Diagnostic tests, on the other hand, determine the presence or absence of disease in individuals experience symptoms. And the next is the drug delivery system consists of the intravenous, intramuscular, oral, or internal administration of a pharmacologically active substance for a target response. And the next is the food processing transforms raw ingredients into edible forms, while storage methods preserve food quality and extend shelf life. Common processing techniques include cooking, canning, freezing, and pickling, while storage strategies include refrigeration, freezing, and airtight packaging. And the next is controlling air pollution involves reducing or preventing emission of pollution at the source using cleaner energy and implementing air pollution control equipment. This can be achieved through various strategies: transition to renewable energy, optimizing transportation, improving energy efficiency, and informing emission standards. And the next is construction. At its core is the process of building or creating something, particularly large-scale structures like buildings, roads, and bridge. It encompasses the acts of assembling materials and elements according to a design to form a functional and structurally sound entity. This process can involve various stages, from planning and design to actual construction and completion. And the next one is the health monitoring, refers to the process of tracking an individual's or group's health status over time, typically using technology or data collection methods. This can involve monitoring vital signs, psychological parameters, activity levels, or other relevant metrics to detect changes or trends that may indicate a health issue. And the last one is the pest detection and control involves a multi-faceted approach, including monitoring for a pest, implementing prevention strategies, and using various control methods like biological, mechanical, and chemical means. Early detection is crucial for preventing widespread infestation and minimizing damage. often achieved through visual inspection, props, and sensors.
In summary, the nanotechnology or the nano world is perhaps the fastest growing world in the 21st century. Of course, we are now in the field of 21st century. Being use of technology is naga-high-tech na yun. And there are some advantages and disadvantages to nanotechnology. The advantages is towards the improving the quality of our lives and many felt by humankind. Of course, nanotechnology has a big, huge impact sa atua. And mapaisig din atong daily life sa itong mga sa ito pang adlaw-adlaw nga gimbuhatan. And then the disadvantage as the disadvantage of nanotechnology is especially related to our human health because for example sa mga food sunscreens and mga food products, it can be destroy our health. And the environment, especially our environment are the only beginning to the surface raising the pollutants. For ito itong giingon ako giinas, as I said earlier, sa mga fuels, so they can effectively affect our environment and sa itong climate. So, isa siya sa mga reason nga nung climate change ta. So, the systematic exploration, characterization, organization, and regulation of the nano world are warranted to the best like of the nanoscience and nanotechnology. So the nano world will continue to influence science and technology. So be minded of the use of our gamit now today kay nagka-high-tech na kita. So be minded and careful.